video with you today because we are going to be talking about one of my favorite all-time superfoods, maca. The reason I wanted to do this video is because I have used it in the past and also continue to use it on a fairly regular basis. So I wanted to really dive deep and look at the 3 different benefits, science and evidence behind it, and also, does it really live up to its standards? The 3 different benefits that we are going to be going over are these health claims that number 1, it improves athletic performance. Number 2, it improves mood / balances hormones. And the third one we're going to be talking about is this idea that improves sexual desire / medication-induced sexual dysfunction. If you guys haven't been following me for a while, my name is Tessa. I am a last year doctorate of pharmacy student. I'm also a NASM certified personal trainer, and I'm also working on my certificate of nutritional coaching and health coaching certification right now. So this superfood, holistic health stuff is totally my jam, right up my alley. So with that, we're gonna get started. I'll be right back. Be a good girl. I just got done with my chiropractor appointment. I absolutely love going to the chiropractor. I just feel so good afterwards, and you know that you're like all aligned and in tune with your body. I think it's magical. Anyway, I thought that I would give a little bit of background on what the heck maca really is. So maca is a vegetable in the same family as like broccoli, cauliflower, kale, and it is found in a bunch of different countries in South America, but most of the time it's harvested and cultivated in the Peruvian Andes at really high altitude. Commercially, it's available as a powder even though it's harvested as a root. 3 different main colors of maca powder: yellow, red, and black. We're going to be mostly talking about the yellow one because that is the one that's most of the time is commercially available. If you want the full nutrition breakdown of maca powder, I've put it in my description. Also, side note, that's where you can find all of the different resources for the research that I went over today in the video. So now that I've touched on that, I want to start with the first benefit or health claim that maca has, and that is improving athletic performance. But first, Mama needs her iced chai tea latte with almond milk. Okay, now I feel better. Overall, I do think that there is a positive benefit associated with maca powder and athletic performance. How much an improvement of athletic performance? I'm not 100% sure. 3 different animal studies saying that there is a significant difference between those mice that are taking maca powder versus not in a swimming endurance. Mice benefits does not equal human benefits. However, I did find an interesting study talking about 8 cyclists, and those who took maca powder had a significant improvement in their times in a near 25-mile bike ride. The super interesting thing about this study is that the individuals taking maca powder were only taking the substance for 14 days before they redid their time trial. Normally with training to set in, it takes a lot longer than just 14 days to see an improvement. And I think further research in this subject could be really, really positive because everyone is always looking for that athletic edge, and maca powder could be that. I'm back at home. I thought about shooting at another fun place, but I was like, I just want to go home. I want to do it in my bed. So that's what we're doing. The next one I want to talk about is improving mood / balancing your hormones. So this one I had a really bad internal struggle because I really couldn't find any good studies out there. Nothing was strong evidence, but at the same time, this is the entire reason that I started to take maca powder, and I found really helpful benefits with it. Basically, I decided to stop taking birth control for various reasons, most of them pharmacy related, but I'll go into that in a different video. So overall, there isn't much scientific evidence to back this health claim. I think there needs to be this open conversation between what does the evidence say and what is actually people's experiences when they take it in real life. As long as they are safe and effective supplements, I encourage you to use them, especially if you're seeing really good benefits. So the first study I found was in postmenopausal women, so women who are old enough that they don't receive their period any longer, and they were either getting a placebo, so nothing at all, or 3.3 grams of maca powder per day. There was 2 groups, and they flip-flopped the groups halfway through the study. If you were placebo for 6 weeks, then you were going to take maca powder for 6 weeks, and then vice versa. They were measuring all sorts of hormone chemicals in the body, glucose, everything, and they really didn't find any significant difference between the difference of people taking maca powder and those not taking maca powder. They did find a significant decrease in the blood pressure of the group that was taking maca powder at the time. They did find significant difference in the depression scores between the 2 groups, so those who were taking maca powder were significantly less depressed than those without. There are a bunch of different things that could affect that, but it was still an interesting finding. The problem I had with this study is that they flip-flopped their groups through halfway, and then they were also only on maca powder for 6 weeks. I don't think 6 weeks is a good enough time trial to really show how it's balancing those hormones. The next one was a study in rats, so once again, not human subjects, and they did find that the rats supplementing with maca powder did have significantly less cortisol and adrenaline in their system. And then through their observation, it seemed like those rats were less depressed, but obviously it's not like you can be like, hey, rat, how you feeling today? So you see where my internal struggle is coming from, because the journals aren't very good. They didn't really do a good job in setting up the studies, but there were some significant difference between the 2. But overall it's not that like amazing aha moment that I wanted to have with this. Take it as it is. That's science, I guess. So the last one I want to talk about, and is also kind of relevant that I'm sitting on the bed, is sexual desire and sexual dysfunction caused by medication. This one I actually found pretty compelling evidence for, and I think that there is a role with maca powder in medication-induced sexual dysfunction. One of the studies I found was a meta-analysis, so basically they took a bunch of different studies and then grouped them all into one big study and then analyzed it from there. And they saw little evidence that it actually improved sexual desire. However, they did say most of the studies that they used, it didn't have a lot of people in it, they were kind of designed weird, and there might have been some other biases. Basically, a roundabout way of saying, well, I don't know. But the one that I was excited about is this study that was set up very, very well. It was produced in a reputable journal, and I really think it had some awesome results to it. Basically, what it was studying was medication-induced sexual dysfunction from a medication class called SSRIs. So if you are diagnosed with depression or anxiety, these are probably the common medications that you are put on. Lexapro or escitalopram, Prozac or fluoxetine, and Zoloft, otherwise known as sertraline. However, most of the time it causes sexual dysfunction in males and females. Either their sex drive is or they just can't get aroused. So in this study, they had a low dose, which is 1.5 grams, and they had a high dose, which was 3 grams, and then they sort of compared the 2 differences after a long period of time of them supplementing with maca powder. And they found that the individuals with the high dose, so the 3 grams, had significant improvements in their sexual experience and functioning. Over these 12 weeks, both the low dose and the high dose of maca powder, the people tolerated really well and there was no side effects. So it was really cool to see something that was not a pill that could help these individuals taking this medication with their sexual dysfunction. And also maca does have that health claim of improving mood and balancing hormones, so maybe that could even tie into lessening their depressive symptoms. So I've moved over to the kitchen because I know the next thing you're gonna ask me is, Tessa, how do I take it? And I'm gonna tell you. Because I think maca powder has been shown that it's well tolerated, there's no weird janky side effects to it, and there is evidence for these 3 health claims in the little bit at least. There are a couple things to note. Number 1, you wanna make sure you're getting your maca powder from a reputable company. There is research after article after news headline about all these different supplement companies selling complete crap, even things that are laced with dangerous chemicals and other toxic compounds. There's even been shown that some of these supplements don't even contain what they say they do on the bottle. The second one, who should not take maca powder. Because maca powder has estradiol effects, those with severe hormone imbalances, such as those with breast cancer, endometriosis, ovarian cancer, or any kind of situation where your hormones are like severely fluctuating, you probably should not take it because you don't want to add another thing into the mix. Also, it's been shown that it does contain this chemical compound that can affect the normal functioning of your thyroid gland. So if you have any thyroid issues, probably not the best supplement for you. And lastly, of course, if you are pregnant or breastfeeding, always talk to your doctor or your pharmacist before supplementing with anything. Because I generally add my maca powder in my run-of-the-mill, kind of boring post-workout smoothie, I decided to spice it up for you guys, and we gonna be making a superfood smoothie bowl. First things first, got 2 cups of ice for you. Then normally I'll add a cup of water, but since we're making it a little bit more fancy, I grab my almond milk. Yes, I realize these measuring cups are for dry ingredients and not liquid ingredients, so don't at me because I'm a poor college student. I ain't got time for your fancy measuring cups. I love adding banana to a smoothie because it just adds a little kick of sweetness. Usually I like to blend this up first and then add the powders in as I'm blending it. Otherwise they get stuck to the side of the Vitamix and then they don't get smoothed out and it's not good. I started blending it and then I realized that I didn't tell you what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna have a ½ teaspoon of Tierra Sol maca powder. That's about 2 grams of maca powder. So if you remember back from our research, the high dose was 3 grams. Then Orgain protein powder. So I'm gonna add a scoop of this, and then I'm also gonna add a ½ teaspoon of turmeric. And then the last thing, like I said, we're spicing it up. We're making it a little bit more of a treat. We got the Enjoy Life vegan dark chocolate mini chips. And I'll add a full tablespoon of this guy because, you know, you can never have too much chocolate. I made a little bit more than I bargained for. So good, so cold. So we'll see if we can make this pretty. With that, I'm going to wrap things up because I really want my smoothie bowl. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you have any questions, feel free to leave it in the comments or shoot me DM on Instagram at Apothecary Mindset. If you like this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. And if you want more, subscribe to my channel. It really supports me what I'm doing and I absolutely love doing this. All right, we'll see you guys next time.